Greenville, South Carolina is home to a number of amazing suburbs. And if you're trying to figure out where you need to live in Greenville, I know it can be a lot. So in this video, I am going to rank the best suburbs around Greenville, South Carolina. And each of these suburbs received their ranking by the lifestyle that they offer, amenities and conveniences, and of course, real estate. Let's do it. As always, my friends, my name is Will Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the upstate of South Carolina, and it's our goal with this channel that we are your #1 resource for all the things that you need to know about your relocation to the upstate of South Carolina. We aim to provide you with the most reliable, the most practical, and the most relevant information that you can find on the internet about Greenville. And if you do decide to relocate to our area, I would love to be the realtor that you choose to work with. So please email me at my email below. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So number 4 on the list is west of Greenville, and that's going to be Easley, Powdersville, and Pickens. And I'm clumping these together, and you'll find that I clump these clusters of suburbs together just for the sake of time for this video so that it's not 30 minutes. So the west side of Greenville, Powdersville, Pickens, and Easley is one of the few places that you can still find serene country roads that's going to take you home, as well as rolling topography, especially the farther north you get towards Pickens. So what amenities are over here on the west side of town? Well, there's a plethora of shopping. There's a number of boutiques that are opening up in downtown Pickens and downtown Easley. There's also grocery stores like Publix, and there's Walmart. There's also Easley Baptist, which is one of the hospitals in the Prisma Health Network, which is South Carolina's largest healthcare provider. There's also restaurants like those at the Silos, which is over in Easley. For example, Inky's, which is a very popular Philadelphia cheesesteak spot. There's also Coyote Coffee, which is the prevailing coffee shop on the west side of town in Pickens and Easley and in Powdersville. They have a number of coffee options, and they have bite-sized food that's available from their menu where you can take it to go, or of course you can eat it in the shop. Of the 3 towns on the western side of Greenville, Pickens is going to be the smallest. Powdersville really doesn't have a true downtown. It's just an extension of Easley, and of course Easley is going to be the biggest of these 3 areas. So what about conveniences on the west side of town? So Easley is only about 20 minutes away from downtown Greenville. Powdersville is about 10 minutes away from Interstate 85, and it's only just a few stoplights into downtown Greenville. And Pickens, up north just above Easley, is going to be about 30 minutes into downtown Greenville. Living on the west side of town in one of these suburbs is going to give you very quick access to, for example, hiking over at Table Rock State Park or Devil's Fork State Park on Lake Jocassee, or if you wanted to shoot up into western North Carolina, it wouldn't be a very far drive for you to do that. There's also Scenic Highway 11, and there's also a lot of public golf courses and public parks if you're an avid pickleball player. So what type of lifestyle does living on the west side of Greenville offer? So if you want a more laid-back lifestyle where it's going to be quiet and you get to drive those country scenic roads, then the west side should definitely be on your radar. And if you want all of that and access to Greenville, keep in mind you're only about 20 or 30 minutes away if you live on the west side of town. So finally, let's talk about real estate in this suburb. So over 800 properties over the last 6 months have come to market. About 25% of this inventory that has been brought to market is new construction. So for Pickens, which is going to be the most affordable suburb on this list in this video, the average price point is just under $300,000. And Easley, the average price point is just over $300,000, with the highest sale recorded in the last 6 months just being over $600,000. And in Powdersville, the average price point for a home sold in the last 6 months is just over $400,000. And the highest recorded sale in that period was a little bit over $800,000. So number 3 on the list is going to be the northern suburbs. So that's going to include Travelers Rest, Northern Taylors, and Northern Greer. Now, if you're wanting a small town feel, if you're wanting to drive country roads, if you're wanting a little bit more laid back lifestyle, and if you want some mountain views, then this is the place for you to look at. So the amenities in this area are going to be pretty abundant. If you are wanting a quintessential downtown, well, that's going to be Travelers Rest with a very cute main street with a number of shops, restaurants, and boutiques along both sides of Main Street. You also have downtown Greer which is bar none one of the more attractive downtowns in the suburbs around Greenville, South Carolina. You're also going to have access to Lake Robinson. You're going to have access to Paris Mountain State Park, and you're going to have access to the mountains and the parks in western North Carolina. And like I mentioned, you're going to have a lot of scenic and breathtaking Blue Ridge mountain views if you're living in Travelers Rest, Northern Taylors, or Northern Greer. So if you live in this area, the conveniences that you're going to have are also going to be pretty wide ranged. If you live in Travelers Rest, you're going to be about 20 minutes from downtown. But if you live in Northern Greer or Northern Taylors, you're really going to be maybe 30 to 40 minutes from downtown. Because there's no major corridors on this side of town, you do have to ride 2-lane roads pretty much all the way until you get to, say, Wade Hampton Boulevard or Highway 25. That's going to bring you into downtown Greenville. So while we're on that topic, Wade Hampton Boulevard is going to be more than likely your hub for shopping. There's also Cherrydale, which is just south of Travelers Rest. There's also coffee shops like Barista Alley, which is in downtown Greer, and it is one of the more coveted coffee shops in our area. There's also Leopard Forest, which is a personal favorite, right downtown Travelers Rest. You're also going to have access to 13 Stripes Brewery and Taylor's Mill, as well as Swamp Rabbit Brewing off the Swamp Rabbit Trail in Travelers Rest. And if you're someone that's looking for a lifestyle with a slower pace, with a little bit more rural setting, or if you maybe even want a larger piece of land, then Travelers Rest and Northern Taylors and Northern Greer would definitely be a place that you should put on your radar. So last but not least, let's talk about real estate in this suburb. So Travelers Rest of the three is of course going to be the most expensive. And over the last 6 months, about 600 properties have been brought to market in this part of town. Communities that are popular in this part of town would be communities around Lake Robinson, like O'Neill Village and the Stillwaters at Lake Robinson. Communities like Hunter's Ridge and Green Valley, which is right there in the Furman area, just below Travelers Rest, as well as Cherokee Valley, which is northern Travelers Rest, and the Cliffs Valley and the Cliffs Mountain Park, which are also northern Travelers Rest. The average price point over the last 6 months in Travelers Rest is roughly $500,000, with the highest recorded sale being just over $2 million. In Northern Taylors, the average price point was just over $400,000, with the highest recorded sale being at $1.5 million. And last but not least, the average price point in Northern Greer was just over $350,000, with the highest sale being recorded at just under $1.5 million. So the second best suburb on the list is the east side of Greenville, which is going to include the south side of Taylors, the west side of Greer, and also the Five Forks area. Eastern Greenville is known for a lot. Its convenience to literally everything, its top-rated schools, and its abundance of residential real estate. So if you live in this area, you're going to have quick access to everything, including amenities like the Haywood Mall, Pelham Road, Lawrence Road, and of course, Woodruff Road. Pelham Road and Lawrence Road are going to be your main shopping hubs. And of course, Woodruff Road is going to be where all of your big box stores are. You're also going to have very quick access to the GSP International Airport, which is in Greer, and it sits about 15 to 20 minutes from any spot in East Greenville. Not only are you going to have access to a number of stores and of course the airport, but you're also going to have access to Interstate 85 and 385. So if you commute to work every day, then if you live on this side of town, it's going to be a breeze. The conveniences that you'll find on the east side of Greenville is the Patewood Medical Center, plus a number of outpatient doctor's offices. There's also a number of boutiques on Pelham Road and Lawrence Road. And you're also going to have quick access to gyms like Sports Club and the East Side YMCA. So if you're looking for a quintessential suburban lifestyle with a number of residential communities around you, then this is the area that you'll need to look at. So last but not least, let's talk about real estate on the east side of Greenville and in Five Forks. Over 800 properties over the last 6 months have been brought to market in this part of town. For the east side of Greenville, the average price point is right around $400,000, with the highest recorded sale being at $2.1 million. The sweet spot for price point on this side of town, in my opinion, is right in between $400,000 and $600,000. Now for Five Forks, the average price point is over $600,000 here, and the highest recorded sale is $3.9 million in the last 6 months. Now, popular communities on the east side of town and in the Five Forks area would be Barrington Park, cottage style communities like Pine Creek Cottages, Greystone Cottages, and Ridgestone Cottages. And you also have communities like Hartness, which we've mentioned on the channel before, Thornblade, which we've mentioned on the channel before, and the ever popular Sugar Creek. So the number one suburb on my list for this video is the southern suburbs, which is going to include Simpsonville, Malden, and Fountain Inn. If you want to be in the path of progress, and if you want the most convenience to the most things, then this is the place that you got to look. So if you've been following the channel for any length of time, you know that Simpsonville, Malden, and parts of Fountain Inn are gonna have the easiest convenience over to Woodruff Road, which is where Whole Foods and Costco and Sam's and Trader Joe's are. Living in this area is also gonna give you convenience down to Fairview Road, which is like the mini Woodruff Road in Simpsonville. Places like Target and First Watch and Chick-fil-A and Starbucks and Martin Farms, which is gonna be home to Publix, and Tipsy Taco and a number of other vendors are going to be right there on Fairview Road. You'll also have convenience over to Bridgeway Station, which is in eastern Malden. This is the Italian kind of New World architecture thing that's on the side of the interstate, right over that bridge as you're coming up to 385 into Greenville. This is where the Greenville Triumph Stadium is going to be, and supposedly the Swamp Rabbit Trail is going to run into Bridgeway Station. A number of restaurants and retail options have already opened up, with more to be expected to be opening up soon. There's apartments, there's a gym, and all in all, it's going to be one of the foremost developments in our area. The conveniences that you're going to experience if you live in these southern suburbs is, one, access to the interstate, whether it be 385 or 85, so you won't have that long of a commute to work. While these suburbs may be geographically farther from other suburbs from downtown Greenville, you're not going to have as long of a commute because of the interstate system. You'll also have access to the Conisty Nature Preserve off of Butler Road in Malden, and you'll have very quick access to GSP, the International Airport. So lifestyle-wise, you have a lot of options here. The Heritage Park Amphitheater down in Simpsonville attracts big-name artists throughout the year. You have Cedar Falls Park, which is down in Fountain Inn. You also have Southside Park, which is home to about 12 pickleball courts in northern Simpsonville. And you also have the farmers markets in Simpsonville and Fountain Inn that are open seasonally. As far as real estate goes in the southern suburbs, you are going to have the most abundance of inventory of anywhere. Over the last 6 months, almost 1,200 properties have come to market in these southern suburbs. So for Malden, the average price point is right on par with the overall Greenville market at an average of $385,000. In Simpsonville, the market average for a home is just over $400,000. And in Fountain Inn, the average price point is just under $350,000. So I hope all of that information was helpful about the suburbs of Greenville, South Carolina. And if you are thinking about relocating to our area, I would love to be the realtor that you choose to work with. So please shoot me a text at my cell phone number below, or send me an email at my email below. I would love to chat with you soon about what your relocation to Greenville could look like in the coming months. And as always, my name is Will Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the upstate of South Carolina. And until next time, stay safe. Well, this video is going to be about Greenville County, the upstate of South Carolina. Great thing to do and easily in the evening. I'm a local real estate expert here in the area. All time, we're right behind me is a really cool place called Freight Yard.